Morning everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Adriano and this is 44 Degrees Motorbike Adventures. We're here today in a beautiful sunny day in Ireland. It's crispy, cold, dry. Been having a really bad weather for quite some time, and but today is really nice. I'm going to show you Valencia across the channel, the other side there. Valencia there. And so today the purpose of this video is to show you how to change your motor oil and your oil filter on the Transalp 700. So if you don't know my channel, in this channel I upload videos from my trips, contents of like reviews that I do on my gear, and also maintenance that I do on my bike. So today we're going to do a maintenance and oil change. The oil change on the Transalp 700 is supposed to be changed every 12,000 kilometers, and I like to change a little bit more closer than that. Some people change the oil filter every second oil change, but I'd like to change every time that I change the oil because it's so cheap and it makes sense just to change everything. I have the bike here on side stand at the moment, so just let's go and see how hard it is. Right, this is not a very difficult job to do, but if you have a bash plate like I do, it makes the things a little bit more awkward. The reason is that I have to take off the bash plate in order to access the drainage screw, which is just underneath here, and you better can see that. But I have to lose my crash bars and remove the bash plate. I have done that already. The bash plate is over there, and I have the bike warming up as well. You need to warm up the bike for a few minutes, so it makes the oil more flowing. You know, it flows the oil better when you're draining the oil. So I let it sit for a few minutes now, just to let the oil goes down, and then we're going to proceed to change the oil. But before we do that, let's take a look at the tools that you need to do this job. Well, it's not a very difficult job, as I say, so the tools that you need is very basic. You don't need all the tools that I have laid out here. The reason I have laid out these tools here is just because I was taking the bash plate out, and I took like my set of tools on the bike. But what you need really is a wrench to untighten the drain plug, which is the bolt, and to drain the oil. You need this tool here, which is an oil filter removal tool in order to remove your oil filter. Now this one is basically you inserting, and I'll show you in a minute how to do that. Is you insert in the oil filter like this, and then when you turn, he grab the oil filter. Yeah, it's okay, it does the job. Also need your oil filter, of course, and you need your oil. The oil for Transalp 700, and the recommended oil is Jason SG or higher, 10W40 or 10W30, and I've been using Moto for quite a while now, and I'm happy with it. Before I used to use Castrol, but this is more available here where I live, so it seems to be great. The quantity, it depends if you are going to change your oil filter or not. If you're going to change your oil filter, it's 2.3 liters, and if you are not, it's 2.1 liter. So you need to make sure you have enough oil. So what you need for this is your oil filter change, your oil, your filter. You also need one of these in order to put your oil in the engine. You need some rags because you are going to spill some oil. You need a bucket in order to hold your oil when you dispose that later. Some paper towels actually, and there's some rags here so you can clean up your mess. Pair of gloves too, which is necessary for this job. It's a dirty job, and from there on, that's basically what you need. Also, what I like to do is put a cardboard underneath the bike there and get some papers, because you're always going to spill oil when you take it out the plug, no matter what you do. So with that said, so let's just show you how to do that, and let's start the job. As I say, you're already warming up the bike. You have to warm up the bike, and also important, you have to to drain your oil on the side stand in order to drain the oil complete from the engine. So okay, so let's do that. Let's have a look and see. Alright, so the first thing we need to do before we actually even unplug, remove the drainage hole, is to remove the cap of the oil reservoir, or I think that's what it's called. And it's a bit very tight here. You have to get a grip this with one hand. Let me just get something here. They make these things very tight. Let me try my other hand. There you go. So what we want to do is remove this altogether. That will allow to tighten the screw a bit. Don't want that screw to fall in there. Like this thing. That's the screw for my crash bars. I have to loosen up a bit. So we remove that. And what I want to show you now is something that I've done. But it's right here. This is the drainage bolt, and it's very close to the bar here. So there's no way for you to put a wrench here, a small thing. What I've done is I cut one of those pipes, and I cut in half, or actually more than half, and that fits properly, exactly there. Let me show it again. It fits exactly here. There, right? And then I can open up the plug here. So the oil filter is just right here as well. There. And so we're going to insert our two underneath here to grab it. So let me do that. I won't be able to do this holding the camera, so I'm just going to let the camera on the floor here, and hopefully you can get a grip what I'm doing. So let me do that. And anyway, you need to get your bucket in place. Make sure your bucket fit. The reason is you need to be able to open the bolt, and the bucket needs to be here as well. So I might cut this a bit here, just to give me more room. So let me cut this first. Okay, so I have my bucket now here cut, and I'll fit properly in there, and I can actually put my hand underneath and open up the screw. Another thing I would say is to just make sure you have a bucket big enough to hold the oil that's gonna come out there. Sorry. My first attempt to do this on this bike, I miscalculated and I got a bucket which was too small, and when the oil was flowing down, and once you take the screw out and the oil is flowing down, it's very hard to put it back. You know, spilling oil out everywhere. So I had to just run and try to get another bucket, but just make sure that you have a bucket enough to hold 2.3 liters. Alright, so let's open up this and let's drain this oil. Okay, I have this screw, the drain bolt is loose now, so the oil should start flowing now in a few minutes. Hold the screw here. Now, one thing to know as well is when you take it off the screw, the oil is not going to drip down like this. It's going to shoot this way. So put your bucket a little bit forward towards you and then take off the screw. Because if you think it's going to go straight down, it's not. It's going to gush it out. And make sure you don't drop the screw, the bolt on the inside of the bucket. It's hard. Now it's kind of coming off now. There you go. One more turn. That's it. See where I came? So now it's going to hit that screw now. And that's why I like to keep my rags close to me here, and clean up my hands. Don't forget move the bucket as well. Well, this time was quite good. Didn't have much spills. The oil, keep it changed already. Like this time it took much longer to change my oil than the previous time. I usually change my oil at the beginning of the summer. This year I didn't do that. But anyway, it's not that bad. It's only, I think it's only about 8,000 kilometers or 9,000. So it's going to be dripping there for a few minutes, so you might as well just leave that there. And then what we're going to do is get our connect this microphone here. What we're going to do now is get our tool to remove the oil filter away a bit. See, yeah, make it easier. Take these pipes and move a little bit out, and then you have a way to grab it. Yeah, there's no way on the way as well. That's my favorite cup of coffee. That's my phaser there. I got this cup from my friend Edmund on my birthday, and my favorite cup, Edmund, thanks very much for that. There you go, there she is. Very good bike as well. Love to have kept her. Anyway, so let's finish the cup of coffee here. Very cold here today, so I need warming up a bit. Yeah, so almost there. So let's finish off this thing. Once we finish this. Okay. So let's see, finished dripping, so we can move that bucket away from here. The other side. Alright, so Next thing you know is to install a new filter. So let's just put it in place. Some of these filters come already pre-lubed, but if it doesn't, like this one, it already came pre-lubed a bit here. And but what you can do is you can use a little bit of like engine oil and lube the thread and also the seal here. The seal is already lubed too. I'm just gonna put a tiny bit of oil in the thread. That's it. There we go. My hand. Let's get on you the two again. Now we're facing the other side. We want to go this side now. Tight this up. I find like the new one has much grip than the old one. I think it's because so much used already, and then all the dirt and the grease. Make sure you tight this properly. I usually type by hand. I don't think there's any way for you to know exactly how to tight this. I only get a feeling, and we'll be checking this anyway later on. This is it. That's it. That's enough. Let's do it. Look at this. No matter how much you wash the bike, it's the part that you never can get. No. Jeez, so much I could gunk here. Anyway, we'll do that later. That's not the purpose of this video, but yeah, I won't clean up this thing properly. I mean, once I put the brush plate, I won't be able to access this again. But what we need to do now is tighten the drainage bolt, which is right here. Tighten it. Okay, let's grab my tool on the other side. there. The one is in. And the other one too. Be up. Okay. Okay, what's left for us to do is just add the oil now, so we're gonna do that. I've got the oil right here. Now at the moment I have. Okay, so I'm just gonna add the oil. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add one of these, two of these, 1 liter, and then we're gonna get these guys here and add to 2.23 here, 300, and then we actually get the full amount. So let's get the funnel. And just let's add the oil. Check for leaking. But first we turn on the bike. Let's do that. And then we're going to check for leaks. If there's any leaks in the oil filter and also in the drainage fluid. Alright, so just just keep in mind that there'll be some oil left around the part that you took a little bit. So just clean it up, just double check. So we just have to have a quick look and see if there's nothing leaking there or in here as well. And all right, everybody, this is it. This is how you change oil on and filter on the Transalp 700. As you can see, it's not a difficult job to do. It's a messy job, so be prepared to get your hands dirty. Get yourself plenty of rags and plenty of papers to cover the floor where you're going to do that, because there always going to be a spill. Also, I have the oil now put on the inside one of the containers, and I'll bring back that to a recycle place where they recycle. So don't be throwing your oil anywhere, especially in the rivers or ground. Bike now it's warmed up, and I'm just going to check the oil one more time, the oil level. And this is it. This is how we do. Next video that I'm going to do, I'm going to be changing my air filter to a KL&N air filter. I've read a lot of things about good things about that, so I'll try to do to see. My aim is not performance. My aim is just to change in order to make it a cost benefit, because each change of an air filter costs me about 40-80 euros. And so yeah, stay tuned and we'll see how you do that. It is a little bit more work involved in the Transalp 700, as you have to take out the fairings and the fuel tank, but it's not an impossible job to do. So stay tuned for my next video and you'll see how I do that. And I'll also put a video next time to see how much improvement, especially in mileage, the air filter will give me. So we'll see. So this is it, guys. Hope this video actually helped anybody out there that's looking to do the same job that I done just now. And I hope that this encouraging everybody to actually get your hands dirty and start doing your own maintenance on your bike. So thanks very much for watching, and see you next time.